Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now, this is going to be another movie review video because I'd like to review a movie, a Blu-ray actually, which I watched yesterday, and a movie which I thoroughly enjoyed from start to finish. Now, it's a French movie, so it's like it's got the usual, English subtitles. And it was made in 1960, and it was directed by Georges Franchu, and that is a movie called Eyes Without a Face, or the French title is Les Yeux Sans Visage. I hope I pronounced that correctly. All right then, guys. So as per usual, before I say anything further about the movie and giving me thoughts on the story as a whole, I'll just read the blurb at the back of this edition just to give you some idea if you haven't seen it. Right, so Dr. Genesea, played by Pierre Brasseur, is a brilliant and obsessive plastic surgeon driven by the need to restore his daughter's disfigured face. Now, he's aided in his quest by his loyal assistants, Alida Values and Suspiria, who lures unwitting young women to the secret surgery in a secluded chateau. Eyes Without a Face is at once cruel and tender. Georges Franju's unique blend of pulp, horror, and poetry has been a major influence on filmmakers from Jess Franco to Pedro Almodovar. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That is the blurb for the 1960 movie, French movie, Eyes Without a Face. It's got some great special features on here as well, guys. Yeah, so there you go. Just freeze your screens and just take those special features in there. Fantastic, yeah. And it's got a nice booklet as well inside, guys. I'll just show you. There's the discs anyway. There's the that's the Blu-ray, and there's the DVD. And it's got a smashing booklet all about the movie. Yeah, there you go. There's the lady who was in Suspiria, quite young there, obviously. Yeah. And that's the doctor's daughter, whose face he's trying to reconstruct by killing women and taking their skin, for his daughter's disfigured face. He was disfigured in a horrible car accident, due to him actually speeding. Yeah. So there you go. There's another one there. When his daughter's face is, well, shall we say, temporarily rebuilt. But this movie, guys, it was years ahead of its time, because it's quite in part it's quite disturbing, because it shows you him when he's got the woman on the table in his laboratory, and you actually show him cutting, making the mark around the face and that, and it really goes into close up and that, making the marks, doing it sort of like very, very meticulously, and then completely cutting the woman's face off and then removing it. Oh yeah, real ahead of its time. This actually shocked the cinema goers when it was actually shown, because it's there you go, the devilish doctor at work there. And yeah, so it's like thoroughly enjoyed it, and if you like French horror movies from the 1960s, and there's another great still there of his daughter from the 1960s, very reminiscent of Frankenstein and Giallo movies. I think you will enjoy Eyes Without a Face. Apparently, it was a big influence on all the major Giallo movies to come. Yeah, so yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the picture quality, although it's in black and white, oh yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And not only did I enjoy the story, I enjoyed the scenery, showing you like France and that, in 1960 and that, all the people sitting outside and that, and the cafes and that. Yeah, oh yeah, and the music as well. That's another great feature. It is sort of like it's sort of like got this like ominous tone to it and that plays out throughout the movie when the doctor's assistant is prowling around the streets looking for another potential victim. Oh, she's a swine, yeah, is assistant, because the first girl, it starts off. I won't tell you too much about it, guys, in case you haven't seen it and you want to get it. But it starts off like with his assistant like dumping a dead body. That sets the tone then for what the movie's going to be like. Kidnapping girls and using taking the skin off their face and trying to transplant it onto his daughter to try to rebuild his daughter's face. But you see her dumping a body in the river, you know, and then of course like the story sort of like unfolds then, because we meet this doctor, this rather eminent surgeon. He's a bit like Dr. Frankenstein. He's one of these mad scientists, and that, you know, he'll stop at nothing to achieve his devious means, you know, and he, you know, as I say, he's determined to rebuild his daughter's face, you know, and oh yeah, it's great, it's very good, yeah, really good, yeah, and also he's got like he's got this sort of like big country house where he's got the surgery and that, and he's got all these, oh, it must be 100 Alsatian dogs, all sorts of what he's been experimenting on, all chained up in like a basement, and that adds to the atmosphere as well, because when you go into the house, you hear all the dogs constantly barking and that, you know, and you know, it reminded me a little bit of Dracula when you heard all the wolves howling and that. Oh yeah, very very atmospheric movie. This guy's eyes without face, you know. Oh, I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. And even though I'm not a great fan, I've said this before, I'm not a great fan of foreign movies because I don't like the chore of having to read the words underneath. I enjoyed this one, you know, because the story was that good, it was gripping, and you didn't know what was coming next, and all solid performances by the cast, you know, the doctor, his assistants, his daughter, and the poor girls who he kidnaps and that, you know, and it takes their faces and that. Oh yeah, very good. Yeah, years ahead of its time, this guy's, in terms of, you know, showing you close-ups of medical procedure and that. You know, you really feel sorry for the poor girl and that, because the second girl in the movie, like this is assistant, she's prowling around, as I say, looking for a potential victim, and she comes across this large cinema queue, and this pretty girl standing there, you know, yeah, sorry about that, guy, some idiot going past on a motorbike as usual. Idiots. Yeah, well, as I was saying, the second girl, she comes up to her, she's in a cinema queue, this girl, waiting to go into the cinema, and she said to her, I've got free tickets here. So they jump the queue, you know, so they go into the cinema, and then they make friends, because in the next segment you see this woman, his assistant, the woman that was in Suspiria, saying, I found a room for you. So of course the room is the room in the none other than this devious doctor's country residence, you know. So all hell breaks loose basically when she takes her back and that. But when she goes back with the woman, she says to her, she's driving along, she said, it seems to be a bit far out, doesn't it? Oh, she said, I've took the shortcut, you know, because of the traffic and that. But you know something, it's not going to turn out very well the minute she gets into that car and the assistant drives her to, you know, the doctor's residence. You know, you might as well say goodbye, basically, you know, to the poor girl and that. And then when she gets into the house and that, you know, she starts feeling unsettled and that. And she said, oh, well, I better go now, you know. And they sort of like, they don't want her to go and that. The doctor says, oh, nonsense and that. And he pours on a drink and that. And oh yes, you really feel that you really feel a trepidation mountain, you know, because she senses something's not quite right here, this poor girl, you know. And then all of a sudden he's sitting by her on the couch. Well, he comes behind her actually and chloroforms her. So he puts her, he knocks her out and that. And the next minute she's in his laboratory, tied, you know, strapped down on the you know, the way he's going to operate and that. And but where it goes into a graphic detail, guys, when he's actually starting to take the poor girl's face off and that, you know, and afterwards and that, the poor girl's face and swathed in bandages, she looks like an Egyptian mummy because you can only see her eyes. Oh, it's very good, this, guys. Highly recommend it. You know, if you like your French foreign movies from the 1960s and you like a good real near knuckle white knuckle ride, get yourself a copy of Eyes Without a Face. Fantastic movie, and I'm going to watch it again in a couple of weeks' time because I enjoyed it that much. And as I say, yeah, great plot, great storyline, very atmospheric. You know, I love the set, and as I say, the French towns and that, and the cities and that, you know, and the music and that adds to that ominous medicine ambience. You know, oh yeah, thoroughly enjoyed this. And the doctor, he's physically, he reminded me a little bit of Lionel Atwill. If any of you are familiar with the Universal movies, he looked a little bit like Lionel Atwill. You know, because he's very very stern, he's very abrupt and that, and he's got this cold look about him. You know, oh yeah. Takes the part off well, this guy, you know, he really does, yeah. Yeah, Dr. Genesea, I hope I pronounced that correctly, played by Pierre Brasseur. I'm not very good with French names. I'm worse than Del Boy, actually, when it comes to pronouncing French names. But yeah, as I say, I was really, delighted with this movie, guys. Eyes Without a Face, you know. And this is what I mean, guys, about, you know, like story. If you've got a good story and good characters and a compelling plot, you don't need cheap jump scares. This tells a very, very, very effective story, and My Days doesn't do it well. It really does. You know, I could easily imagine if this had been made in America, I could very easily imagine somebody like Vincent Price taking the role of this devious doctor. He's like Frankenstein and that, you know, and he's got no conscience at all about, you know, sort of like abducting girls, innocent girls off the streets and that, and putting them out and cutting their faces off and that, you know. And the thing about like when this second girl, he grabs their skin. I won't give too much away, but when he grabs this his victim's skin onto his daughter's face, she's beautiful for a while, but then the rot starts setting in because the imperfection starts appearing on her skin and that, you know. Oh dear, it takes a very, very dark turn. This guy's Eyes Without a Face, yeah. And I guarantee, if you like these sorts of movies, like black and white French movies, you know, from the 1960s, I think you will love Eyes Without a Face, yeah. Oh yeah, I was really pleased with it, you know, it really was, yeah. All right then, guys, so on to a rating now for Eyes Without a Face. No hesitation whatsoever. I'm going to give this a full 10 out of 10 because that's how much I enjoyed the story. It was well acted, good solid storyline, very, very dark, ominous atmosphere, and really unsettling scenes of facial grafting and that, you know, cutting the skin off the girls' faces and that, yeah, and the atmosphere with all the dogs in the basements and that, all the Alsatians and that, howling and barking. Oh yeah, very good, guys, this, yeah. Highly recommend it, you know, definitely, yeah. So yeah, a full 10 out of 10 for this, guys, Eyes Without a Face, yeah. All right then, guys, that concludes my review of the 1960s French horror thriller Eyes Without a Face. Have you seen Eyes Without a Face? What did you think of it? Do you share my high opinion of it, that it was a very, very good, entertaining, gripping movie? Leave your comments down below. I'd be very interested, you know, to read, you know, what you thought about it. Oh, but yeah, this would definitely be, if I ever done a top 10 of my all-time favourites foreign horror movies, this would definitely be in the top 10, guys. Eyes Without a Face. I'm telling you, very, very enjoyable watch. I was gripped from start to finish, you know, and this that woman that was in Suspiria, she really takes the part off good, playing as you know, his evil assistants and that, you know, going out onto the streets of France and that, and prowling the streets looking for these innocent girls and that, unsuspecting girls, and sort of like getting them back to his house on the pretext of friendly hospitality. And once they get in there, that's it. You know, they're basically doomed, really. You know, yeah. All right, then, guys. I won't give any more away about the story. I'll let you get it for yourself. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. And as I say, you know, highly recommend this one, Eyes Without a Face. Yeah, very, very entertaining movie. Yeah. All right, then, guys. The usual. If you like it, like the video. You know, please feel free to share, subscribe, comments, and all going well. I'll be back again very, very soon with another video. Take care. Bye for now.